Apple's iPhone 16e marks a significant departure from Apple's previous SE models. While the SE line traditionally catered to users seeking a compact, familiar iPhone with Touch ID and essential features, the 16e represents a substantial reimagining. Though it retains the SE's core appeal of simplicity and ecosystem integration, the 16e moves beyond repurposed components, incorporating fresh engineering and modern features with a design reminiscent of the iPhone 14. This evolution signals a fundamental shift in Apple's approach to its budget-friendly lineup. We'll get to price a bit later, so let's table that for now. Let's focus on what the 16e actually offers, as the 16e actually offers quite a bit, from the A18 chip, 48 megapixel lens, single camera, to the new C1 modem. There's a lot to unpack here. Speaking of unpacking, in the box, for those curious, there's not much to it. Like most unboxings these days, you'll get the phone, some documentation, and a USB-C power cable that I'm honestly shocked Apple still includes at this point. The 16e has Apple's latest A18 chipset. While it's a single core short of the A18 found in other 16s, it's still very capable and performance is rock solid. There's 8 gigabytes of RAM over 6 found in previous iPhones. Per Apple, the RAM coupled with the A18 ensures the 16e is 40% faster than the iPhone SE 3rd gen and 80% faster than the iPhone 11. While I personally don't play any games on my phone, I found overall day-to-day performance is on par with the iPhone 16 and iPhone 16 Pro. With the added RAM, Apple also threw in Apple Intelligence. With the 16e, you'll get Apple's AI features like their writing tools for crafting more professional emails, Genmoji to create your own emojis, Apple's image playground to turn descriptions into fun images, and notification summaries that attempt to summarize your notifications at a glance, all while Apple promises this data stays secure on device. Now, like many others, I personally delete the image playground app and never use half of these features. Notification summaries are still awful in my experience, and everything Apple Intelligence offers feels half-baked in comparison to what other AI offerings are available. Though it is nice to see it's included here on the 16e, future-proofing this device a bit in the long run as Apple hopefully evolves this tech. This 6.1-inch OLED 60Hz display is great for this iPhone with colors and content looking vibrant. Reminds me of a slightly less bright 16 display, but overall great for everyday use, maybe just not in direct sunlight. The 48 megapixel single lens camera here on the back of the 16e is pretty solid. You'll get quick point and shoot photos that don't disappoint for a single lens camera. Now, the main reason I wanted to order this is for Apple's new C1 modem. For years, like many other smartphone manufacturers, Apple has been paying billions to Qualcomm for their modems, and Apple paid billions to acquire parts of Intel's modem business to build their own. And with the 16e, Apple has included this first-gen modem built from the ground up internally at Apple, promising a more integrated and efficient modem long-term while saving Apple billions in ever-increasing Qualcomm fees. Happily, I can report you won't notice a difference in call quality or reception. Apple's new C1 chip performs on par with the 16 and the 16 Pros with no issues, and I have found it's more efficient in areas where I occasionally lose signal or my 16 Pro Max would fight between 5G, 4G, or search for Wi-Fi, for example. I look forward to the evolution of Apple's own modem. So far, Apple's big investment seems to be paying off. With the A18 and C1, the 16e is incredibly power efficient. The battery performance is stellar. It helps the 16e is packed with a 3,961 milliamp hour battery, which is slightly larger than the batteries found in the iPhone 16 and 16 Pro, but smaller than what you'd find on the 16 Pro Max. Aside from all the Apple apps and Apple's ecosystem, you'll get features like crash detection and SOS satellite connectivity in emergencies, which are great features to see Apple offering across their lineup, ensuring the safety of their consumers. So we spoke to all the features that are included on the 16e, but it lacks quite a bit that has left many reviewers and consumers questioning this device entirely. There's no ultra-wideband 5G supported, yet older iPhones do. There's no photographic styles, no ultra-wide camera, macro, cinematic, or action modes. No camera capture button, though I'm personally thrilled to see that it's omitted here. There's optical image stabilization versus sensor shift. No ultra-wideband chips for precision tracking your iPhone or AirTags, even though the iPhone 11 had this 6 years ago. The A18 chip is lacking a core compared to the A18 chips found in the rest of the 16 lineup. The OLED display doesn't get nearly as bright as other iPhones that had older LCD panels. There's no Wi-Fi 7 or 6E, just Wi-Fi 6, and there's no MagSafe. Not even Apple's own colorful case lineup for the 16e has MagSafe, so if you want MagSafe, you'll have to buy a third-party MagSafe compatible case. At $599, the 16e's value proposition is questionable. The price simply doesn't align for what you're getting in return. Not to mention, the new E naming convention likely indicates an annual release cycle, meaning we'll probably see a 17e next spring, probably at a similar $599. Despite the 16e's current high price, this pricing strategy might make more sense in the long run as Apple establishes it as their consistent budget iPhone if raising the cost of their entire lineup. Honestly, I've always loved the SE models, and using the 16E has been a great experience. I've realized that I simply don't utilize the pro features of the higher end iPhones or even many of the features on the standard 16 iPhone. As I get older, I'm finding that simpler devices like the 16E suit my limited smartphone usage perfectly. It makes me wonder why I and so many others like me continue to spend so much on phones we don't fully use. If Apple increases the pricing of the 17 lineup, maybe even more start to convert to the cheaper yet still pretty great E series going forward. The 16E is ideal for users seeking a reliable functional iPhone. It's also a strong contender for first-time smartphone users like kids, for example, or maybe developers needing a budget-friendly device for iOS beta testing. I can totally see this being the go-to government-issued or enterprise device also. Maybe E even stands for enterprise. However, if MagSafe or other premium features are essential to you, consider a renewed iPhone 15 Pro or 14 Pro series for comparable or even lower pricing. Personally, I'm actually debating just selling my 16 Pro Max and continuing to use the 16E until the 17 series launch, and honestly, I'm even debating upgrading to the 17 series given it will probably offer more of the same, more features that I will never use anyways. Overall, there's clearly a market for a cheap iPhone, and this is now Apple's newest and cheapest iPhone. Consumers walking into an Apple store just simply looking for a new iPhone without paying a premium, without a care in the world for all the pro features, this is that ideal iPhone. Apple will sell millions of these, I'm sure, but what are your thoughts though on the 16E? Did you buy one or are you debating on buying still? Let's discuss in the comments. And as always, thank you for watching, take care, and stay safe.